Have you ever signed something that changed your life? Not because you wanted to, but because you had no other choice? I did. And the ink hadn't even dried before I started to wonder if I'd sold my soul, not just my name. The pen was gold. The signature, mine. And the weight of it? Heavier than the sky hanging above me the moment I stepped into his world. Not that I walked in. I was escorted. By a man in a dark suit and colder silence, through double doors taller than any dream I've ever had, into a life that wasn't mine, into his house. No, not a house. A cathedral of ice and cedar wood and money, too old to speak plainly. Ashford Manor. I now live here. Not as a guest, not as a lover, as his wife, for 1 year, bound by a contract so tightly worded, even my breath feels regulated. His name is Leonhardt, Ashford. And the first thing he ever said to me, after I signed that contract in a chapel full of no one? Obedience isn't free. 2 weeks ago, I was standing in the parking lot of the community center, soaked to the knees from melting snow, fumbling with my keys. I was thinking about my mom, about the bill from the hospital, about how I could possibly keep both of us from drowning. That's when the envelope arrived. Thick, heavy, sealed in gold. Hand-delivered by a stranger who vanished as soon as I took it inside. A contract, a marriage proposal. No flowers, no love, just numbers, conditions, a signature line, and his name. Leonhardt A. Ashford. A man I'd only seen on magazine covers. Billionaire. Media empire king. Heir to a corporate dynasty built on whispers and iron fists. I'd heard rumors that he was ruthless, unreachable, that his heart had been broken long ago and buried somewhere no one could find it. So why me? Why offer marriage to a ballet teacher from Vermont? I didn't ask, because the contract didn't invite questions. It offered salvation in exchange for silence. 1 year of marriage, public, legal, no sexual obligation. No public statements. In exchange, your mother's treatment will be covered in full, non-negotiable, irrevocable. I stared at that paper for a long time, and then I signed. Not for myself, for her, and maybe, just maybe, for the part of me that wanted to matter to someone, even if it meant being bought. Now, 2 weeks later, I step into a world where everything gleams, but nothing feels alive. Marble. Glass. Silence. I walk through, the entrance hall alone. No one greets me. Not even him. My suitcase was brought up earlier, I'm told. To a room with a view of the ocean. The type of view that should take your breath away. Instead, I sit on the edge of a velvet bed and feel like I've landed inside a painting where I don't belong. That's when I hear him. Leonhardt. His voice carries even in whispers. It cuts without volume. Claire. I turn. He stands in the doorway. Dark slacks, black shirt, sleeves pushed up to the elbows. His collarbone is visible, sharp like everything else about him. He doesn't move. Did you read the addendum? He asks. My mouth is dry. The what? He walks over to the desk, opens a folder, slides out a single page, places it in front of me like a warning. Clause 7. Emotional connection is not a requirement. Clause 8. Physical intimacy is subject to Leonhardt's discretion. Clause 9. Any breach results in immediate termination of the agreement and cessation of financial coverage. His signature, mine. Below it, in his unmistakable pen. Obedience isn't free. You'll remember that. I look up. Why are you doing this? He doesn't blink. You needed saving. I needed silence. That's not an answer. I don't owe you one. Silence stretches like a wire pulled too tight. Then he turns, walks to the door. Before he leaves, he glances back once. You belong to me now. You made that choice. And then he's gone. I don't sleep that night. The sheets are too smooth, the walls too still. There's no traffic outside, no city buzz, just wind and waves and the echo of a man I don't understand. I close my eyes and see his signature. Hear that voice. Obedience isn't free. What did he mean? That there will be consequences? That I'll lose more than I bargained for? Or that he'll demand things I don't even know how to give? Maybe I should be afraid. Maybe I am afraid. But somewhere in that fear is something else. A flicker. Not curiosity. Challenge. Because he doesn't know me. Not really. Not yet. I know what you might be thinking. That I sold myself. That I stepped willingly into a cage just to keep my mother breathing. And maybe you're right. But let me ask you this. If someone you loved was drowning, and the only hand reaching out belonged to the devil himself, would you take it? Would you sign your name beneath his? Because I did. And now, I have 1 year to find out who really holds the power in this marriage. Me or him? There's something cruel about a beautiful prison. When the walls are made of glass, the air perfumed with luxury, and the silence draped in velvet, you almost forget you're not free. Almost. It's been 3 days since I arrived at Ashford Manor. 3 days of being watched without being touched. Of hearing his voice in the hallway, but never feeling his presence in a room. 3 days of living like a guest in a life that legally belongs to me, but doesn't feel like mine. Leonhard hasn't spoken to me since the night I asked him why. Why me? Why marriage? Why now? He didn't answer then. I doubt he ever will. My days are scheduled. A staff member named Elise, sweet, tight-lipped, always in beige, brings me breakfast on a tray I didn't order, then politely suggests I take my morning time in the music room or the solarium, or the private garden that's not really private, when I know there are cameras in the trees. I asked once if I could go into town. She smiled like I'd asked if I could fly to Mars. This is your home now, Mrs. Ashford. Everything you need is here. But I need air. I need noise. I need something real. And Leonhardt, he's a ghost. I hear him on phone calls, cold, clipped, commanding. He runs an empire from behind a desk made of black marble, in a room I'm not allowed to enter unless summoned. And I haven't been summoned. I try to settle in. I try to act like I belong here. I sit in the reading room, pretending to absorb. The same sentence in a book I'm not really reading. I play piano in the afternoons, until my fingers ache more from silence than strain. Once, I heard footsteps behind me as I played. I stopped, hoping he'd speak. He didn't, just watched. Then walked away. It's on the 4th night that I break routine. I leave my room after midnight, barefoot, robe tight around me, moving like a thief through his mansion. I don't know where I'm going. Maybe I'm looking for him. Maybe I'm looking for myself. I wander through the gallery hall. Family portraits stare down at me, people with eyes like his, faces frozen in oil paint and power. At the end of the corridor is a double door I've never seen open. But tonight, it's ajar. His study, and he's in it, not working, not speaking, just sitting. In the dark, a tumbler of something amber in his hand. I should walk away. Instead, I step in. The smell hits me first. Cedar, whiskey, and something colder, beneath. He doesn't move, doesn't speak, but his eyes find me like they always do. You're not supposed to be in here, he says. I couldn't sleep. He watches me, quiet, calculating. Then, why are you really here, Claire? I hesitate, then tell the truth, because I'm starting to feel invisible. And I don't know if I married a man, or a shadow. He sips his drink. A shadow has no interest in marriage. Then what are you? He doesn't answer. Not Directly. Instead, he says, "You're not invisible. You're just untouchable. For now." "For now?" I ask, pulse jumping. He stands, walks toward me, slowly, like I might break, or like he might. "I'm not a man who takes what isn't offered," he says. "But you did," I whisper. "You took my name, my freedom. You gave them. For your mother. And what did you give?" I challenge. He stops a foot away. His eyes flicker, just once. And for the first time, I see something behind the steel. Regret. Pain. It's gone before I can name it. "I gave you safety," he says. "A world without debt, without chaos, without fear, but not without you." His gaze darkens. "You think I'm the danger here, Claire?" I swallow hard. "Aren't you?" A beat of silence. Then two. Then, "I'm not the man your father was." I blink. "What?" "Your mother. She didn't love him. She loved me. Once." His voice is flat, almost lifeless. "She chose him, because her family forced her. Because they said I'd ruin her." He walks back to his desk, pours another inch of liquor. "They were wrong. But she made her choice, and I lived with it." My chest tightens. "So this... me? You're not her," he says quickly. "You never were. Then why marry me?" He doesn't speak. Instead, he looks at me like he's searching for something I haven't even discovered in myself. When he finally says something, it's quiet. Fractured. "Because you make me remember what I wanted, before the cold set in." And then, just like that, he turns his back to me. Dismissed. Again. I leave without another word. Back in my room, I lie awake staring at the chandelier above my bed. This one's smaller than the one in the chapel, but just as cold. I trace my fingers. Over the edge of my wedding ring, it still doesn't fit. Not my finger. Not my life. But I wear it anyway. Because some cages are chosen. Even when the bars are invisible. Sometimes I wonder if he put me in this house to keep me safe. Or to keep me quiet. To lock me away. Not from danger. But from the truth. And maybe I let him. Tell me, have you ever felt more like furniture than a person in your own life? And if you had the chance to reclaim yourself, would you take it? Even if it meant breaking every rule you signed for? Because I'm starting to think I might, and I don't know what that makes me yet, but it's not obedient, not anymore. You can't love someone you don't trust, but what if you begin to trust someone you're supposed to hate? It starts with the sound of a drawer slamming, not from my room, from downstairs. I'm not supposed to be in his study, not even near it. But rules, like walls, start to feel thinner the longer you live inside them. I tiptoe down the hallway, bare feet on marble, drawn by instinct more than intention. When I peek inside, he's not there. Only the fire. Low, flickering, warmth without welcome, and a desk drawer left cracked open. It's probably nothing. But I'm not a girl who used to open drawers. I'm a woman who married a stranger to keep her mother alive. I've earned the right to curiosity. Inside, a bundle of old letters, tied in a black ribbon. I shouldn't read them. But my hand moves before my guilt can catch up. The top envelope is yellowed with time. On the back, L.A. I'm from S. My breath stops. S. My mother's name was Sarah. I slide the letter out. It's her handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. I'm sorry. I wish I had the strength to leave them. But they threatened everything. You. My family. The life I might have had. I never stopped loving you. But love isn't always louder than fear. Forgive me if you ever can, and don't come back for me. Please. I don't know how long I stand there, holding the weight of my mother's heart in my hands. Long enough that I hear the door click behind me. I spin. Leon Hart stands in the doorway watching me. No anger, no shouting. Only stillness so sharp it cuts the room in half. I warned you not to come in here, he says quietly. I clutch the letter. You loved her. He doesn't respond. You knew her, and you didn't tell me. She was none of your business. She was my mother, I snap, louder than I meant. The silence that follows is deafening. He walks forward, slow and measured, until he's standing just feet from me. She was everything, he says, voice low, and she left. Because she was forced. Because she was afraid. And she didn't fight. He doesn't shout. He doesn't have to. You never got over her, I whisper. No. I buried her. He takes the letter from my hand, sets it down gently on the desk. Then for the first time, he looks at me like I'm not just her daughter, but something else, something he can't define yet, something he doesn't want to. I didn't marry you for her, he says. Then why? He turns away, jaw tight, fists clenched. I married you because you reminded me what it feels like to want something real again. And I hated that. That silence again. The one that stretches like a bridge about to snap. I step closer. And now, he doesn't answer. But he doesn't walk away either. That night, I can't sleep. Again. So I go back to the one place in this house where my breath doesn't feel monitored. The ballet room. It's a gift he gave me on the first day. Converted. One of the old guest lounges into a studio. Mirrors, bars, smooth floors, a sound system I've never used until tonight. I put on music. Chopin. Something aching and slow. And I dance. Not for anyone. Just to feel my body move without permission. To take something back. I don't hear the door open, but I feel it. His eyes. I turn mid-pirouette and see him in the mirror, standing just inside the doorway, watching. He doesn't speak, doesn't move, just watches. The music keeps playing, my feet keep moving. I don't stop, because if I do, I'll break. Not from shame, but from how much I want him to see me. Not her. Not the past. Me. When the final note fades, I let myself collapse into a kneel, breathing hard, heart exposed. His voice cuts through the stillness like silk drawn over skin. You. Move like no one's ever hurt you. I glance up. They have. I just don't let them stay. He walks in slowly, the door shutting behind him with a soft click. For a second, I think he's going to leave again. But instead, he steps forward, and he kneels, right in front of me. You should hate me, he says. I tried, I whisper. It didn't take. He reaches out, hand hovering inches from my face. Claire. My name sounds different in his mouth now. Softer. Regretful. Like an apology he doesn't know how to say. I don't pull away. I close the gap. Our foreheads touch. No kiss, no command. Just the kind of closeness that says we're both bleeding, quietly. I don't know what this means. But I know what it isn't anymore. It isn't control. It isn't revenge. It's the first crack in the ice, and beneath it, fire. Tonight, I looked into the eyes of a man who tried to own me, and saw a boy still haunted by the girl he couldn't keep. I don't know if I should feel pity or power. Because suddenly, I'm not the one trapped anymore. He is. Tell me, have you ever seen someone crack just enough for light to break through? And if you had the chance to step through that crack, Would you? Because I think I just did. And I'm not sure if I'm the fire or the fuse. It starts with the storm, not outside. Inside me. The forecast had warned of heavy rain, but no one warned me about the kind that falls between two people when words no longer work. It's the 6th night. The wind howls against the windows like it's begging to be let in. Thunder rolls in slow, aching pulses. The lights flicker once. Twice. Then hold. I'm in the hallway, pacing, restless. I don't want to be in my room. I don't want to be in his either. I want to be anywhere but caged in my own thoughts. So I head to the solarium, a glass room full of rain. I sit on the chaise lounge near the window, watching the sky shatter. Lightning strikes the sea with surgical precision. The waves rear up like wild horses. The world outside is chaos, and inside me, not much different. I close my eyes, try to breathe. But it's not the storm outside making me tremble. It's the one that's been building between us. I don't hear him until he's already there. His reflection appears on the rain-streaked glass in front of me, tall, still, backlit by hallway. Light. Leonhardt. He says nothing at first, just watches me. I don't move. What are you doing out here? He finally asks, voice quiet. I could ask you the same. He walks closer, slow and deliberate, until he's standing right behind me. Couldn't sleep, he says. I glance at him over my shoulder. Me either. He looks at the rain, then at me. You're shaking. I didn't realize I was, but now that he says it, I feel the small tremors in my hands. It's just cold, I lie. He doesn't call me on it, but he doesn't believe. Me either. Claire. The way he says my name, it's not a demand, not a warning. It's something else, a reach, a thread. I stand, suddenly needing space but not moving far. He mirrors me, stepping closer. No rush. No threat, only presence. I don't know who touches who first. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's me. But suddenly my fingers brush his wrist. Barely there. Like testing the surface of something too hot. He doesn't pull away. Neither do I. His hand finds my waist, slow, measured, not claiming, just asking. I look up at him. There's a war in his eyes, fire and ice. His jaw clenches, like he's trying not to speak. So I do. You don't have to keep punishing yourself, I say. He breathes in like my words hurt. Who says I'm punishing myself? I see it. Every time you look at me, you're not angry at me. You're angry at the past. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he lowers his forehead to mine. Same way he did in the ballet room. But this time, the contact is warmer, hungrier, closer. I don't close my eyes. I want to remember this. The lightning flashes again, turning his features into something mythic. The sharp jaw, the faint stubble, the storm in his mouth. Just waiting. I whisper, "What are we doing?" His answer is not a word, it's a kiss. Slow at first, like he's asking permission with every breath, then deeper, wilder. His hand finds the back of my neck, fingers curling into my hair like he needs to anchor himself. I kiss him back, not because I should, because I want to. The rain hits harder outside. Inside, I forget everything. Who we were, why we started, what we promised, all I know is this. His mouth feels like freedom and fire, and the answer to a question I didn't know I was asking. We don't go further. Not that night. The kiss ends slowly, like a song that wants to linger. When we pull back, we're both breathless. His thumb traces the corner of my lip like he can't believe what just happened. Neither can I. He doesn't speak. Just looks at me like I've undone something in him. And maybe I have. Because when he leaves the solarium, He doesn't shut the door behind him. He leaves it open, just wide enough for me to follow. Back in my room, I touch my lips like I'm afraid. The feeling will disappear. It doesn't. It lingers, in the heat between my legs, in the ache in my chest, in the question he didn't ask, and the answer I wasn't ready to give. What are we doing? Becoming something dangerous, something real, and I'm not sure which scares me more. You ever feel something shift inside you with just one touch? Like your whole life took a breath it didn't know it was holding? That kiss wasn't a promise. It wasn't a vow. But it was a beginning. And now I can't unfeel it. Tell me, have you ever wanted someone you swore you wouldn't? Because I swore I'd never want him. And yet here I am, wishing he'd come back and kiss me again. There's a line you cross once and can never uncross. Breath you take that changes the air forever. I crossed it tonight, and I didn't walk. I leapt. It starts again in silence. I wake in the middle of the night, skin flushed, heart racing. Not from a nightmare, but from a hunger I no longer know. How to name, I don't think. I move. Out of bed. Through the hall. Past the chandelier that once looked like a noose and now glows like a dare. I don't knock on his door. I open it. He's awake. Sitting on the edge of the bed, elbows on his knees, shirt half unbuttoned like he didn't finish undressing or didn't bother. When he sees me, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't ask. He doesn't speak. He stands. He walks toward me like I'm gravity, and I let him. Because maybe I am. His hands don't ask this time. They take my face, my waist, my hips, but not harsh, not fast, like he's finally letting himself touch what he's wanted for too long. He brings his mouth to mine and the kiss is not gentle. It's desperate. It's full of every look we've shared, every silence we've endured, every secret we haven't said out loud. My robe slips off like it's nothing. His fingers undo the last buttons of his shirt. He's sculpted in shadows, shoulders like steel, arms that tremble slightly when I reach for them. He kisses down my neck, slow, reverent, like prayer. We fall back onto the bed, breath tangled, hearts pounding like they've been waiting for this. I pull him down with me, wrap my legs around his hips. Our skin meets, warm, real, unavoidable. He kisses me like I'm not just his wife by contract, but something holy. And then he stops, looks down at me, one hand on my cheek, the other tangled in my hair. I need you to say it, he breathes. I nod. Yes. He closes his eyes, just for a second, like the word is relief and punishment in one. When he enters me, it's not perfect. It's aching. It's overwhelming. But I don't pull away. I rise into it. I rise into him. And when we find our rhythm, everything else disappears. The contract, the pain, the power plays. All of it burns away, until there's nothing left but this. Bodies tangled, hearts breaking open, fire consuming everything it touches. He moans my name like it's the only thing that keeps him tethered. I cry out his like I've finally found the edge of myself and gone past it. We fall together, hard, shaking, spent. And then we lie there, in the dark, sweating, breathing, holding. He doesn't move. His hand rests on my stomach, rising and falling, with every breath. I didn't plan for this, he says finally. I turn my head. Neither did I. He brushes my hair back, studying me like I'm something he doesn't want to break but knows he might. You weren't supposed to matter. I could laugh. I could cry. I do neither. You said obedience isn't free, I whisper. His eyes flicker. It's not. But neither is love. He swallows hard, and for the first time, I feel him reach for me, not with hands or hunger, but with something deeper, with truth. He presses a kiss to my temple. Soft. Slow. Real. I don't know how to do this, he says, but I want to try. I close my eyes and let him hold me. In the quiet after, we don't speak. We don't need to. Our bodies say everything. I've never felt safer in arms that once terrified me. And that, maybe, is what love begins as a choice. You didn't mean to make, made over and over again, with every touch you can't take back. We burned tonight. Not because we planned to, but because something inside both of us finally stopped pretending. And maybe that's how real love starts. Not with promises, but with a kiss you didn't mean to give, a breath you didn't mean to share, a night you'll never forget. Tell me, have you ever touched someone like they were fire? Knowing it would hurt and choosing them anyway? Because I did, and I'm still burning. The morning after isn't quiet. It's loud with the things we don't say. I wake in his bed, sunlight tangled in the sheets, his arm heavy around my waist. His chest rises and falls with the steady rhythm of someone still asleep, or pretending. I don't move, not because I'm comfortable, but because if I do, I'm afraid this will all dissolve. What happened last night wasn't just sex. It was surrender. From both of us. And now I wonder what I surrendered to. I eventually slip out of bed, move carefully across the room, and shut the door behind me. My body is sore in a way that feels alive. But my mind? It's a war zone. Did he mean it? The kiss. The touch. The way he held me after. Was it real? Or just another tactic in a game I didn't know I was still playing? I walk barefoot into the hallway, still wrapped in his shirt, and find Elise waiting with coffee on a tray. She doesn't react to what I'm wearing, but something flickers in her eyes. Respect? Pity? Warning? Your usual, Mrs. Ashford, she says with her polite smile. I nod. Thank you. As she turns to go, something makes me stop her. Elise. How long have you worked for him? Her expression doesn't change, but the pause before she answers says enough. 7 years. Have you ever seen him like this? Before? Another pause. Longer. No, she says quietly. Not once. She leaves me with the coffee and a head full of questions. Later that afternoon, I return to his study. I don't knock. He's at his desk, shirt crisp, tie knotted perfectly, as if last night never happened. But when he sees me, something in his jaw tightens. A flicker. A crack. Claire. You said you wanted to try, I say, walking toward him. So let's try. His brow lifts. Try what? Truth. He leans back, eyes narrowing. Dangerous territory. Only if you lie. I stop, in front of his desk, and place my hands flat on the surface between us. I read the letter from my mother. I know she loved you. I know she left you. I know you didn't forgive her. His face is unreadable, but his silence screams, I keep going. But what I don't know, what I need to know, is why me? He says nothing. Was I just a stand-in? A way to take back control? To rewrite history using me as a pawn? Still nothing. Then I snap. Answer me. He stands so suddenly his chair rolls back. I didn't plan to marry you, he shouts. I didn't plan to see you. I didn't even know you existed until your father's name came across my desk last fall. My chest tightens. So this was revenge. At first, he says. Yes. My knees almost give. He keeps going, voice sharp, cutting clean. Your father ruined mine. Sarah chose him because she was young and scared and cornered. And I became the kind of man people fear. so no one could ever take anything from me again. And then you took me, I whisper. He exhales like he hates himself. I saw your name on a hospital bill linked to a loan your mother couldn't pay. I saw your face on a charity program. I recognize Sarah's eyes and the way she used to tilt her chin when she danced. He turns away from me. I bought your debt. I drafted the contract. I convinced myself it was fair. 1 year, 1 cage. Then I'd be done. And then? I ask, throat dry. He looks back. You smiled at me the first night you arrived here. I frown. No, I didn't. Exactly, he says. You looked at me like I wasn't worth fearing, and it made me hate you, then need you. He walks slowly toward me now, not demanding, not dominating, something more dangerous, human. I thought I was dragging you into my prison, but the truth is, I was already in it. He stops in front of me, and last night when you looked at me like I was a man, not a monster, I didn't know how to live with that. I stare at him. My body wants to forgive, but my heart, my mind, they're holding back. So what do we do now? I ask. His voice drops. That's up to you. I leave his study with no clear answer, just a flood of feeling. I go to the garden. It's gray and windless. Dead leaves cling to wet stone. I sit on the bench beneath the bare branches and breathe. I didn't just fall for a man. I fell into the aftermath of a war I never fought. I loved someone who used me. Then confessed. Then offered me the keys to the cell. So why do I feel like the one still holding the lock? That night, I don't go to his room. He doesn't come to mine. We both need space. But space doesn't mean silence. Because now I hear every moment louder. The way his fingers curled when I said his name. The way his breath hitched when I asked for truth. The way he didn't flinch when I called him cruel. Because he knows he was. And maybe knowing is the first sign he won't be again. He told me the truth today. Not all of it. But enough to shatter the lie we were living in. He married me for control. For revenge. But he touched me like he wanted redemption, and now the choice is mine. Tell me, have you ever forgiven someone not because they deserved it, but because you needed to stop carrying the weight? Because I'm standing at that edge now, and I'm not sure if stepping forward means saving us, or losing myself. It all falls apart in public, not in the bedroom, not in whispers, but in front of champagne glasses, crystal chandeliers, and 100 strangers with sharp eyes and sharper tongues. The Ashford Foundation Gala is a fortress of polite smiles and empty laughter. I don't want to be here, Leonhardt insists. It's one night, he said. It matters to them. To them, I repeated. What about me? His jaw tightened. You're my wife. You stand beside me. Not with him. Beside him. Like a possession. Still, I came. Wore the black dress Elise laid out. Let them paint my face and twist my hair into something regal. Something I don't recognize. But when I see my reflection in the grand mirror by the ballroom entrance, I recognize her. Isabel Rain. Tall. Venomous. His ex-fiancée, according to every whisper I'd ignored. She approaches with the smile of a woman who's already rehearsed every line. Well, Claire Layton, you're taller than I expected, she says, voice honey-laced and poisoned. I hear that a lot, I reply, not flinching. She leans in. You must be exhausted, keeping up the perfect little act. I stiffen. Excuse me? Sweetheart, she purrs. You really thought no one knew? The charity teacher, the debt, the contract. She taps the rim of her glass with a manicured nail. Don't worry, I won't tell. That's Leonhardt's job, isn't it? Breaking things in private. Before I can reply, she's gone. Into the crowd, floating like a ghost I didn't summon. Find Leonhardt by the bar, glass in hand, posture rigid. I want to leave, I say quietly. He doesn't look at me. Not yet. I mean it. He takes a sip, sets the glass down. His voice is clipped. What happened? Ask your past, I snap. She seems to know everything. He freezes, then turns to face me, slowly. What did she say? I shake my head. It's not what she said. It's what you didn't. You told me the truth, Leonhardt, but you didn't protect me from it. She's no one. She's you 10 years ago. He steps closer. No, she was a mistake. You are... I wait. Say it. Say I'm more. But he doesn't. He doesn't say anything. And in that silence, I feel myself crumple. Because the crowd is watching. Because Elise is at the edge of the room. Frozen. Because Isabel is smiling in the corner like she's already won. Because he's not choosing me. So I walk away. Not out the front door. Out the side. Into the rain. I don't care that my heels sink into the grass. I don't care that my hair is coming undone, that my makeup is streaked, that I look like every version of a runaway bride the world loves to mock. I just need air. And to be far enough away to cry alone. But he follows. Of course he follows. I hear the footsteps before I feel his coat around my shoulders. I spin on him. You let her humiliate me. I didn't know. You didn't stop it. You stood there and let me burn while she lit the match. Rain pours between us, but we don't move. You think this is about a gala? I shout over the storm. It's about how easily you still let power make your decisions. How quickly you become the man you used to be. His hands ball into fists. I'm trying. Try harder. He looks at me like I've stabbed him. But I don't stop. Because I'm not some expensive ornament you put on your arm. I'm not Sarah. I'm not Isabel. I'm me. I press my hand to my chest. I chose this. I signed that paper. I kissed you. I let you in. But you, Leonhardt, you still haven't chosen me. Silence. Then he drops to his knees. Right there, in the mud, in the storm, in front of me, my breath catches. I have nothing left to give you but this, he says, a man on his knees, with no pride, no armor, just truth. I failed you. Not because I don't love you, but because I do. And I don't know how to protect something I love without controlling it. I kneel too. The wet grass soaks through. The dress. His hands shake when they reach for mine. I'm sorry, he says, voice breaking, for every silence, for every night I let you feel alone, for every word I should have said and didn't. Then say them now, I whisper. I love you. It doesn't echo. It doesn't thunder. It lands like warmth in a cold body. I lean forward, pressing my forehead to his. And this time, it's not a battle. It's surrender, the right kind. Later, we sit under the stone archway behind the garden, wrapped in his coat, dripping and speechless. The rain has softened. The damage remains. But so does the truth. He chose me. Not perfectly, not cleanly, but completely. Tonight, I watched a man made of steel fall to his knees for me. Not because I asked, because he had no other way left to show he cared. Sometimes, love looks like breaking, like failing, like choosing again. So let me ask you, have you ever needed someone? To stop being perfect, just to be real? Because I didn't want a king. I wanted him. Just like this. Drenched. Broken. Mine. Some stories don't end with thunder. They end with breath. Not stolen, not desperate, but shared. It's been 3 days since the rain. 3 days since he knelt in the mud, broke himself open, and gave me the only thing that mattered. Truth. The kind that doesn't apologize with flowers. The kind that bleeds. And heals. We haven't spoken much since. Not because we're avoiding it, but because when something shatters, you don't glue it back immediately. You hold the pieces. You learn where they fit. Then you build something better, together. This morning, I wake in my own bed, but his scent is still on the pillow. He didn't join me last night. He hasn't, not since the gala. It's not distance. It's space. The kind that says, I'm giving you time. I'm letting you choose. And today, I do. I get up, dress myself. Not in silk or lace or the kind of gown Elise would pick. Just jeans. A soft sweater. My own skin. I walk down the corridor, heart steady, feet bare. I don't knock on his door. I open it. He's sitting in the chair by the window, looking out at the sea like he's waiting for a verdict. He turns when he hears me, and when he sees me, he stands, but he doesn't reach for me. He waits. Good. He's learning. I'm not here to forgive you, I say. He nods slowly. I'm not here to forget what we've been. Another nod. Slower. I'm here to burn the contract. A pause. Then, his breath catches. He walks to the dresser, opens the drawer, pulls out the cream-colored folder. Inside is everything that bound us. Ink. Law. Condition. He holds it out. You do it. I take it with both hands, and I don't hesitate. Walk to the fireplace, open the screen, and throw it in. The flames eat it hungrily, claws by claws, signature by signature, until there's nothing left. No chains, no cages, no deal. Just us. He comes to stand beside me. Not behind, not above, beside. I don't want your obedience, he says. Not anymore. I look up at him. Never gave you that. I gave you my silence, my fear, my hope. And what will you give me now? Myself. His breath trembles. And what do you want in return? I smile. Step closer. You. Not as punishment, not as payment. Just you. He exhales like he's never really breathed until now. He kisses me. Not like fire, not like hunger, like home. We spend the afternoon in the sunroom. No staff, no phones, no script. Just coffee and laughter and the strange, beautiful awkwardness of starting over. He asks me what my favorite childhood memory is. I tell him about sneaking into the ballet studio after hours, pretending I was performing for a sold-out audience. He says he used to dream about being invisible. I tell him he's still bad at it. He laughs. God, when he laughs. It sounds like freedom. That night, I find him in the kitchen, shirt sleeves rolled, barefoot, burning something that was supposed to be dinner. You're terrible at this, I tease. He shrugs. I've been told. I step in, take the spoon from his hand, and stir the sauce like I've done this 100 times. He watches me like I'm the only thing that's ever made sense. And for once, I let him. Later in bed, he holds me, skin to skin. No barriers, no silence, only breath, and the way his hand finds mine under the sheets, curling our fingers together like a promise. Claire, he whispers. Yes, I'm yours. If you'll still have me. I press my forehead to his. Mine, I say. Forever. This didn't end the way it began. It didn't end in chains. It ended in choice. I signed a contract to obey. He told me obedience wasn't free, and he was right. It cost me my certainty, my pride, my fear, but what I got in return was everything. So let me ask, you one last time, have you ever lost yourself in something that started wrong and found something right inside it anyway? I did. And I didn't just find love. I found me. And I'm not afraid of fire anymore. Because this time, I lit the match. I've been thinking about you. Yes, you, the one listening, watching, wondering if any of this was ever real. Let me tell you something. It was. Not because I married a billionaire, not because I burned a contract, but because I know what it's like to lose yourself trying to save someone else. And maybe you do too. Maybe you were the strong one in your family, the quiet daughter, the loyal wife, the soft-spoken caregiver, the one who held everything together while your own soul unraveled, thread by thread. Maybe you told yourself it was worth it. Maybe it was, but let me ask you, when was the last time you chose you? When was the last time you said, I want this. I deserve this. I'm not a burden. I'm a life. Because for a long time I didn't. I signed that contract thinking I was doing something noble. Selfless. But deep down, I was afraid I didn't matter unless I sacrificed something. Until love taught me something. I wish I'd known sooner. You don't have to disappear to be loved. You don't have to be useful to be kept. You don't have to bleed just to prove you're worthy of being held. Maybe your story didn't come with a mansion, or a contract, or a man who broke and rebuilt himself for you. But I know, without question, you've lived through storms no one else saw, and you survived them. So if you're still carrying guilt, or silence, or fear, set it down. You were never meant to hold it this long. I was just a girl who thought obedience was safer than freedom. But now, I know the truth. You don't have to be small to be loved. You don't have to stay quiet to be safe. You don't have to obey to be chosen. You just have to choose yourself. Once. Loudly. And if someone truly loves you, they'll meet you there. No cage, no contract. Just two people, finally free. So I leave you with this. Have you forgiven yourself yet? Because you deserve to. And if no one's told you lately, you're not too late. You're not too much. You're not alone. You're still here. And that means you still have time. To burn the old paper. To choose new love. To come home to you. If this story moved something in you, if it made you feel seen or less alone, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have more stories coming. Stories that break, that heal, that remind you you're still here. And your story isn't over yet. Let's keep walking through it. Together.